That's not fair. You're going to be in it.
Welcome.
This is all your fault.
Okay, everybody, welcome to our second quarter client maintenance plan meeting. We are at the City of Lakewood Police Department training room. And Brian Paisley, you did that to me on purpose. I teased him that I wasn't going to call him Brad, and so then I do. Brian Paisley is our presenter, and I'm going to let him introduce him and his partner.
Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm Brian, and this is my partner, Cale Sprisman, and we work in what's called the Sector Liaison Unit for the City of Lakewood. And what that means is it's kind of the crime prevention unit in the City of Lakewood. Most all jurisdictions have some sort of a dedicated crime prevention department. And our unit is made up of 6 people, 2 people per sector. So I work south of 6th Avenue, anything east of Garrison Street, all the way down to Sheridan, all the way down to where our jurisdiction ends, pretty close to Southwest Plaza area. And then Cale works in the north sector, which is everything north of 6th Avenue in Lakewood. So we wear a lot of hats in our unit. We administrate a lot of crime prevention programs in the City of Lakewood. We do a lot of presentations, and then we just field a lot of ongoing neighborhood disputes, neighborhood problems, things of that nature. So it keeps us really busy. One of the other things we do is presentations like today. Jamie and Linda contacted us about hosting a senior safety presentation. So that's what we're doing here today. And I encourage anyone, if you have questions about anything, just go ahead and jump in. If we come up to a topic and you want more information, please just raise your hand, ask a question, just shout it out. This is supposed to be two-way. I want to make sure that everybody gets the information that we're going to provide to you today. I want to make sure it's beneficial to you. So, what we're talking about today is going through introductions. Like I said, the goal is to provide some information to keep your home safe, keep you safe when you're at your home, and keep you safe when you're away from your home. Come on in, folks. Welcome. There's room in the front. We're gonna touch on a little bit about financial safety as well. So the first thing we'll talk about is CPTED, and you're probably wondering what the heck does that stand for. We're going to get into that shortly and why these are important letters for you, for everybody to understand. Physical security of your home, personal safety at home, and when you're away from your home. And then, of course, the fraud prevention. So CPTED, what that stands for is Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. Anybody have a clue what that might mean? Nobody?
Keeping shrubs trimmed away from buildings.
I wish I had something to give away because you're on it. Yeah, crime prevention through environmental design. Technically, you could read the formal definition here. The proper design and effective use of the built environment can lead to a reduction in criminal activity and the fear of crime and improve the quality of life in an area. So ways that we can do that are through trimming down shrubs. What is trimming down shrubs? That sounds like a stupid thing. How is that going to decrease criminal activity?
You don't want
Oh, okay.
doesn't matter. You don't want to cover up your windows.
Why?
Well, because you want to see who's coming in.
Right.
And you want to come down low so people don't hide in your little bushes.
Natural surveillance. That's the first kind of sub-element or subsection of CPTED. And natural surveillance basically is you're placing physical features, activities, and people in a way that maximizes visibility. So good landscaping, good lighting. You're going to hear me harp on this continuously throughout this presentation. Criminals are only going to hit in an area where they have opportunity. And the way to create opportunity is make them feel that an area is not monitored. So you'll hear this come up over and over again. Basically, you're keeping intruders under observation. So they have a feeling like, okay, I'm being noticed, I'm being identified if I come out here and try to commit some sort of a criminal act, break into a car, or steal something off the front yard, something like that. You know, it's kind of the reverse effect. Most people feel safer when they can see and be seen. So is this a good or bad example of natural surveillance? Pretty good?
Yeah.
I'd agree. One of the key features, we do SEPTED evaluations of properties. We administer the City of Lakewood Crime-Free Multi-Housing Program, where we try to keep rental properties safer, because we all know that rentals, there's less investment in the property, and that tends to invite a lot of criminal activity. So we try to stay on top of that. We actually come out and evaluate these properties for SEPTED. And one of the things that we look at is, can I see somebody from 50 or so feet away? And the answer here is yes.
Can any of you guys see a weakness in this? It looks nice, it's lit up. Can you guys see a weakness anywhere in there?
Yeah, the entrance is very dark.
Exactly.
Good call.
And that's a very big weakness. You know, the landscaping's trimmed up nice. Got lots of light. These windows could look out onto this, but then there's nothing here. Notice that? It's a light. It's burned out.
So it looks pretty good from afar, but Cale's right. If you really look into it, there's some things that you do to definitely improve the natural surveillance here. And then there's another element of SEPTED, which is called access control. Nobody read. What does access control mean? What do you think? Just off the top of your head.
Coming and going on your property.
Good. And then how can we improve the coming and going on the property?
Right in the front
Line
door.
the driveway or front door or whatever.
Basically defining a route.
Yes.
If you're going to come in and out, so not anybody can just walk in your front yard. You know, if there's, in the instance of an apartment complex, if you have 6 entrances into the place, how hard are those entrances to maintain? Difficult. If you have one, you're able to keep an eye on that better. So access control is, you're guiding people coming and going into a space, and things that you can put in there are entrances, exits, fencing in, you know, in a residential situation, landscaping, lighting, like we talked about. Where does everybody live? Just out of curiosity. Lakewood?
Lakewood.
Raise your hands for Lakewood. About half? A little over half. And where does everybody else live? Golden?
Denver.
In the city of Golden or out in the country?
City.
City? I heard Denver. Anywhere else?
Loveland.
In Loveland. You live out in the country or in the city?
Pretty much in the city.
Okay. So we're all talking about a city kind of suburban environment there, but that's where everyone lives. This is an example of access control. Any thoughts on that?
How is it access control?
With the shrubbery.
No, you gotta walk.
Here,
Well, walkway, yes.
The shrubbery, that's one part of it. Okay, you got the shrubbery. This is your front entrance. Is this path guiding you to a certain spot? Is this shrubbery blocking you from a certain spot?
Not walking, but then doing that.
Right. Because it's kind of that perception. You have a garage over here. It's the definition between public and private space. When we talk about access control, a lot of times we talk about public and private space. And there's different areas that fit into there. There's semi-public, semi-private, all that kind of stuff. But for the general purpose, is this private space or public space?
Public.
I'll call it semi-private because it is an entryway. If you have guests, visitors, the mailman, the UPS man, they're going to want to use that path to come up to the door and knock on the door. Okay? Is this sidewalk here? Public space. So the definition, look at the difference in the subtle, or the difference in the sidewalk treatments. It's a subtle thing where people with normal common sense, they're going to know that this is private space just by stepping onto that area because it's different than that sidewalk. If this was the same texture all the way up, maybe it's not as clear a definition. There's these little subtle things, but you're trying to route people to a certain area. You know, the same way with the garages and things like that. You design your paths and your fences, shrubbery, anything like that to route them away from that to the front door, to the windows where you can observe things.
It's the thing in the middle of the walkway.
What's that? This?
Yes.
It's a step.
Right.
Step up.
Take it.
Yep, it's one step up.
Looks like it's
Take a step up.
over.
Right.
This is another example of access control, believe it or not. We're not talking about a chain link fence or a huge barrier, but what does this do?